Hi guys, welcome back to Remontada. This is presented by Sports Company. I've got Adi, Orno, and Rishi with me. Game week one over. Lot of controversy. Actually, not lot of controversy. Some amount of controversy. Rishi, off the bat, Manchester United Wolves was the last game in game week one. So controversial. I mean, United deserve anything from that game? Firstly, United won the game 1-0. Did they deserve anything?
I mean, not really. It was very cagey. United were not. We didn't create much. We were rather. I mean, to be honest, Wolves really played well. They really closed our passing options, and we played our midfielders played too high for them. Like for them to be like they didn't have to really do much. We ourselves tried playing too much between the lines, and our Casemiro was left too alone. And but yeah, to be fair, we have to give it to them. They really closed our options down. We didn't know what to do. We looked completely lost. But and and that doesn't necessarily mean they deserved a lot. Of course, they were hitting us on the break, but then again, they had their fair chances. If you don't convert them, but then again, like on XG, it seemed fair till a while. I think that Matheus Cunha that miss racked up a lot of XG. But then
Yeah.
again, like this is what happens. You keep missing your chances. We'll good teams like they'll get half a chance. They'll convert it.
Yeah, fair enough. Adi, most probably controversial part of the game was Onana's, uh, Wolves penalty claim. Onana clattering in to the Wolves striker. I forgot his name, but yeah, um, was
Colors
that
and
a penalty?
Marches. Yeah, it was a clear penalty. He just went punching his face. Like he didn't even get the ball. He's trying to get the ball, like balls outside. He's trying to play him across, which obviously Dawson wins the header, but you can't go punch someone in the box. And the whole point is, the ball is coming and two players are going to, try to go win the header. And then a keeper just can't. The point is keeper's coming to get the ball, not a player's head. So that's a clear penalty. And we all know that everyone agrees it's a penalty. The Howard Webb himself, went and apologized. But, whatever. Like, I don't know what's the point of those things. I mean, the whole point is we have VAR. You can, ensure firstly the referee just goes to the monitor and checks it out, which they failed to do it surprisingly. And
Yeah,
that was a
dude.
Stonewall penalty. That's pretty much like spot on. When I saw it, I'm like, okay, now it's a clean penalty. But like Ferguson under the table stuff helps them. The corruption just moves on, and that's something you can't change and you can't do anything about. I think
She's
so.
just listening to this.
Dude, that was so weird, dude. Like, Rishi,
Yeah,
what is your take?
and this is
Huh?
something I've seen over the years. It's not new. Like I remember last year, Old Trafford, like they simply chopped off Martin and his goal because they conceded at Old Trafford. So the Premier League referees were like, "Oh, we don't want United to concede, so just cancel
I
Martin
mean,
and his
you go around
goal."
pushing someone like this. You can't
That's
help
not
it.
what happened, buddy.
Who goes around
Hey,
pushing?
okay,
That's not what
okay,
Anyone
okay.
that
happened.
they can't help it.
We're not getting into
That's not what
that. We're not
happened.
getting into that.
Yeah, bro.
Okay, Rishi, Onana penalty or not?
See, there are two ways to look at it. Like if the ref gives that a penalty, nobody's going to argue. Like you don't go clattering into a player like that. It's Stonewall
Mm-hmm.
penalty. Nobody argues with it. But you see, it's not just in this game. In general, goalkeepers are protected. It's always when the goalkeeper goes to claim the ball, it's most like 90% of the time, 95% of the time, it's theirs. Like they even though they miss the ball, they get a bit of the player, they are given the benefit of doubt. Right? Of
Hmm.
course, this is a lot more it the way he went out, the way he, made contact looks a lot worse by the like every time you look at it, it doesn't look good at all. But this is not the first time it's happened either. A
The
lot
ball
of
is
times you
nowhere
see
near him,
goalkeepers
though.
make
The
sorry.
ball was never near him. There was no 50-50. The ball
Yeah,
didn't
last
come to his
last
hand.
season,
The ball
last
never landed
season,
towards him.
last season, Jose Sa made the same thing where he went and hit Leeds defender or something, and the ball was nowhere close. He actually went and punched the guy, and it was not even considered. So this is not the first time, but of course, when a big team, when there's like a controversial call given to a big team, of course it gets like all of the limelight, and of course when it's a a home team, of course the rival fans will tend to make up all kinds of. But
Okay,
yeah,
but
I
it's a penalty? If you were on
I
the
think
receiving end of it,
I think no no
what do you think?
I think if given a penalty, I would have no complaints over it. Of course, you don't go doing that. But if it's not given, the goalkeepers are protected. This is not the
No,
first time
no.
that's
For
happening, and this
instance,
is
for
not the
instance,
last
it
time it
was
will happen.
Rishi.
So
For
it's
instance, it
asking, do
was
you think it's a
Marcus
Yeah.
penalty?
Rashford who was
No,
a
no, no, no.
striker taken away,
If again,
and the
if
penalty
I was at
wasn't
the
given.
receiving end, if I was at the receiving end, it would feel I wouldn't feel I would feel kind of let down by it.
Okay. No, but
He,
so
he thinks
you
it's a
would
pen.
saying
He
it's a
thinks it's a
penalty.
pen. He can't
It's a
say it
penalty
directly.
until it's on. Nah, nah,
He's not
penalty. That's
saying
what
it.
he's
Yeah, that's
saying.
what I'm
Yeah, bro.
saying.
He's
No, no,
not
no, no.
saying the word.
I'm saying no. I'm saying it's a very gray area. You give it a penalty, nobody's gonna argue it. But then again,
See, if
huh,
Rashford is on the receiving end, same
yeah,
thing happens.
yeah.
On-field referee has
I'm
not
gonna be
given it.
upset about it. I'm gonna be upset about it.
Yeah, but
Of course.
would you be advocating for it being a penalty?
No. I think 2 years ago when Ollie was in charge, the Sheffield United game was also the same thing happened. And of course, at the time we all were like, yeah, that should have been a penalty. That should have been a penalty. But then again, goalkeepers are protected at the end of the day, so you can't say much about it. Yeah, that's pretty much my take on it. It's
Yeah,
happened
Rishi
What
is
before
is
for
very
us
like
also.
how is
sitting
goalkeeper
on the
protected here?
railing,
He's
sitting on
punching
the
someone
fence.
here. There's no protection of goalkeeper. The point of
You
being
He,
go for
protected
the
as a
ball.
goalkeeper,
You go for the ball. You
dude,
miss it. You get contact.
the point of protection of a goalkeeper is when he's trying to come out for a cross and someone's pushing him. Like example, when White did that
He came
last
to
year
punch
in the
out.
Leicester
He came
game.
out to punch the ball.
That's two different things. Here he came out and he failed to claim a cross and he punched someone. That's no protection to a goalkeeper here. It's the opposite.
That
Like you need to
he
be
no.
telling
He's
strikers should be
still coming
protected
and
here.
making contact. No, he's coming and making contact. That
He's
at
making
the end of the
contact
day,
with
it
the
comes
player's
under the
face,
bracket
not
of.
the ball.
It still
It's
comes
under.
under the bracket of, yeah. It legit is under the bracket of.
What protection
No,
of goalkeeper?
I think Rishi. I think, bro, there's a difference between like, yeah, I understand where you're coming from, which is goalkeepers are protected when there's like minimal contact, maybe like body. Obviously, there's going to be contact inside the box, but coming and outright clotheslining a player, I think is a little.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
That's what I said.
WWE
When you
move.
look at it, every time it keeps getting worse and worse. And
Yeah, I
if it was
mean,
against my team, I'd be upset about it. But
yeah.
this is like all I'm saying is this is not the first time it has happened. A
Okay,
lot of
yeah, fair
instances
enough.
have happened in the past.
Yeah,
One
exactly.
of
Edison did that last
Yes,
year
yes,
against City, and that
yes,
was a
Rahul.
penalty.
yeah, I'm just waiting for them to finish. Arsenal 2-1, Nottingham Forest. What do you make of it?
Yeah, it was a good game. It was pretty solid. I was pretty happy with the performance. Like I think we started a bit slow initially, but like we got into the game. Obviously, the injury was a bit bad for Timber, which will be a might be a
Yeah.
big loss. I'm sure everyone agrees. And like he started looking good. I mean, it was only a game, but even preseason he seemed pretty solid, and everyone was excited about him. Like I didn't like, although the formation we played, what we played Havertz as an eight, and like he
Yeah.
was kind of like invisible. Odegaard was completely running the game in like what I feel, and I don't know. I think they'll have to sort that out. Eddie, as long as he's getting goals, I don't know if people are still going to complain, but they'll
Hmm.
have to figure out that like you need a like a solid 11. You can't keep making changes every week, even if you think like you're going to play this team against a weaker team against a low block and a different team against somebody else, but you still need some kind of consistency. So I think Arteta will have to figure that out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Arsenal were obviously they didn't create any headlines or anything this weekend. Like the big game was Liverpool
Yeah, it was just
Chelsea. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it was. We should have won it probably 3-0 in the end, but it was 2-1. Like whatever. It was though it was. I feel like it was that kind of game. But
It was just a game that
anyways,
you just take at the end of the season. You're not going to remember it.
yeah, exactly. Like I think when we were 2-0 up, it was the kind of game we could have finished off and killed. But then whatever. 1-1 Liverpool Chelsea was the game. Was the big game, supposed big game on the weekend. Adi, what do you make of Liverpool Chelsea? I was very entertained though. Like first half, damn entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty decent game overall. I mean, there was it's not really that fun if you look at it like in terms of pure football. It was just
Yeah,
like
football.
going up and
Yeah,
down,
yeah, obviously.
and there was
Chelsea
really
grew
no
into it at least.
there was no chances created also. Like you could be like, oh, it was like both teams were going to the final third, but they didn't create any chance. Like there was a lot of turnovers in the final third anyways. Like both the teams, their front three looked pretty disjointed. They didn't look like a front three. I mean, when I was at least Liverpool, they're again a very counter-attacking side. They had pretty decent counter-attacks in the first 20-25 minutes until that Salah's offside goal was chopped off.
Hmm.
Apart from that, you could see them, they're just very wide. Like the two players are very wide. Jota was just not doing enough also.
And
And I don't
Gakpo,
remember Gakpo doing anything in the game. Like
No, he
the
was
position
Bro,
was
Gakpo was so weird in
he
that
was just
was
game.
playing
roaming
like
around like
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
it was like playing like a floater, but he didn't was not involved in any counter attacks anywhere, which they had
yeah,
more in the first half. And in possession, Liverpool can't sustain possession. I feel like that entire team, the balance is not right. Uh, the thing is, receiving the midfield, there's no one to receive in the midfield apart from McAllister. And
yeah.
every time you see Liverpool, when they get the ball in the middle of the field, they just try to play it inside to the final third, to the front three. They don't try to have any, positional awareness where they come towards the ball, they always run away from the ball. So it's always like Soboslai and McAllister, putting in through balls in between the lines of, like Colville, Thiago Silva on the left side, and who else? Who was it? Disasi and someone else was on the right. Yeah. So they were only trying to play it in between
Easy.
them. You could never see either Luis Diaz or Salah coming receiving the ball. I mean, I feel like that was the
Mm,
gameplay. You look at the players, they don't have any midfield there. They don't really have much of build up also. And they couldn't sustain possession the entire time. Chelsea looked pretty decent on the ball. But
Yeah,
again, that was because Liverpool didn't have any ball winners. Like Soboslai
yeah.
was the one who was winning most of the balls, and he looked poor. And like overall, the game physically looked decent. He couldn't match, like in terms of physicality, winning duels. But apart from that, I remember he couldn't create much. He was also losing a lot of balls in the final third. So was every player. Like Jackson had a lot of misses. I remember
yeah,
Sterling again, like he created a bit again, certain wrong decisions in the final third. James was okay. He was creating a bit in the first half. He was looked dangerous, and then as the game faded, like he got slower and like he just faded out. I guess he was tired, and he asked for a substitution also.
yeah,
Same with Chilwell. The overall, the game was just like it was free flowing, but there was no real good chances on both the sides. Like both the teams used to go to the final third, lose the ball. You had to just wait
Yeah.
for them, like both teams to basically, it was just like a very mediocre game overall.
When we spoke also, we I think we called a draw because it was like we didn't know which way it was going to go.
yeah. I think Rishi said it'll be a ping pong game, and it was because like
Yeah,
because
it was.
like
It
there was
was.
a certain point where Liverpool were on top, and then when Chelsea grew into it, like Liverpool seemed like
To be
completely
fair,
out.
Yeah,
like
but
the
in
entire
second half, like
first,
Liverpool weren't in it at all.
No,
yeah, exactly.
Chelsea were very fluid actually. I liked how they were playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were
So
pretty
yeah,
fluid, but I feel like that was because literally
Yeah,
there was no
Liverpool
one
also. You
in the
can't really
Liverpool
tell.
midfield to win the
Yeah,
ball. Like you could see them, there were no ball winners. Everyone used to just stay back. Like McAllister is the mid, like McAllister, Szoboszlai, the front three don't work. Like Gakpo was
yeah.
not doing anything. Overall, it was
yeah.
easy for them to,
But
come.
you can slowly
Even
see
like,
Pochettino set up. Like he slowly, I think he'll get into it with his high fullbacks and like creative.
but I feel like Chelsea also looked pretty overrated. They looked exposed a lot. Like first half, Chelsea Liverpool could have scored 3-4 goals if Salah was, made the right
Yeah,
decisions.
yeah. They had and
And even
Salah, I
lose
think, yeah, a couple of good chances, bro, for him.
Yeah,
One he
even
shot
Luis
straight,
Diaz.
bro. One he went near
He hit the
post, and
post. He hit the post
yeah,
once. And even the offside goal was very close. I feel like it
Yeah,
could have been on. He could have stayed onside. Like he had that pace
yeah,
also. Like I didn't know
close.
why he tried to do it. So ran a bit
early.
earlier.
Mm.
But
Uh, yeah, Rishi, Spurs Brentford. I think that was also another good watch. I think in the first half it was pretty fun. 2-2. What do you make of that Spurs first showing without Harry Kane?
From a neutral perspective, like it's refreshing to watch Spurs actually play, on the front foot compared to their last 3 years, even towards the end
Hmm.
of Poch. Actually, not towards the end of Poch. So ever since the end of the Poch's reign, like you've seen, like football that's like always been reactive. They're always playing on the counter, or it wasn't like it didn't look that appealing, especially from even for the fans and from a neutral perspective. You'll always see the other teams going and putting their stamp on the game. And Conte football was at least like them playing extremely vertical, creating chances out of pure counters or like having those premeditated moves. But then this actually feels like quite refreshing, even like watching from a neutral perspective there. But then again, like their downside is that they concede a lot of chances. They're very exposed in the back. They did try and sign a really pacey defender in Mickey Van der Ven, but I still see a lot of issues in the Spurs defense. Like even I think in the second half, Buemo missed a really good 1v1 or
Oh
something.
yeah,
Like
sitter, bro. That was a
yeah,
sitter. Yeah,
he didn't even put it on target.
yeah,
Like a
yeah.
team like Brentford, if
It
they
was the first
can,
half itself.
First
no,
half,
no,
first
no,
half.
in
It was in the
Yeah,
first
the
half.
first half,
he
first
was
half.
shooting this side, no, da.
It was the
No,
first
no, it
half.
was first half only.
First half only, huh?
That was
So yeah,
terrible.
like as much as Spurs are promising while going front, they have their problems at the back. So like you don't like I mean it's not like you can keep outscoring teams. I don't think they have that kind of attacking
Yeah.
firepower yet. And losing Kane is a really really big miss. Like one of the best ever players, strikers in the Premier League. You don't easily replace that. And if you don't reinvest that properly, at least in the defense immediately, it can be a problem. That being said, if United play the way they played last week and Spurs play the way they played last week, I think we're absolutely gonna get scrubbed off the field.
Yeah, that brings
We,
us nicely. That brings
yeah,
us nicely on to this week's fixtures. I think there are two fixtures that stand out from the rest. United Spurs, the first one. Rishi, who do you think is winning this one?
going purely by last week's performances, I think Spurs are comfortably gonna win. But then again, I expect some sort of reaction from Ten Hag. He's not
What
gonna be
United
happy.
fan, bro? This guy.
Hear me out, da. That's why I said going like purely by the last week's result performance. So I expect Ten Hag to like really put the players to work. Especially, I think if he wants Mount to play in that between the lines role, he has to drop him and get Ericsson in. Because last year Ericsson was dropping and supporting Casemiro on the ball, like at least in the first phase,
Hmm.
he was dropping a lot, at least in the midfield. And Mount was not doing that, like for sure. Like that's one of the main reasons why we couldn't like we couldn't get the authority in the middle of the field. So yeah, if we can sort those issues out, I think yeah, we can, like considering the space that Spurs give like for our attackers, it'll be a quite interesting, quite tough, tight game. But then again, depends on how much improvement we make in a 1 week gap. Let's see.
Do United win?
Uh, Actually, you know what? Yeah, 2-1 to United.
Okay. Okay. Or no, Newcastle, Man City, the
Hmm.
second standout fixture. Who wins this?
I don't know actually. Like it's City home, right?
Yeah, Etihad.
It'll of course it'll still be a tough game for Newcastle. Like they were pretty impressive last week. Like
City played midweek though, so
yeah, City played midweek and they weren't. I mean, I didn't think they were like Sevilla pretty much like shut them down. Like they didn't have as many clear cut chances. At least when how much of it I watched, and Haaland was quiet. Sevilla could have
his,
easily like. I
his
mean, they got
numbers
it on
were
points fair enough.
all clean numbers.
Yeah, like and Newcastle were very impressive last week. So I mean, they'll be high on morale. I think they'll go for it. Honestly, like I know it's away at City.
yeah, yeah.
Most teams will like you tend to get deep, park the bus a little bit, but I'm pretty excited for the game because people are expecting. I think last year this game was also what 3-all. It was one of
Yeah,
the
oh, that was fun. That
games
was
of the
fun to
season,
watch. Yeah.
and yeah, I think they'll be like in good confidence. They'll go for it. I still see City winning, but maybe a high scoring one again, 3-2 maybe.
Oh no, your boy De Bruyne is injured, by the way. Does that
Oh, I
change
mean,
much?
Yeah.
yeah, like yeah, I mean, yesterday I felt like they could already see the a bit of a difference in the
Hmm.
creativity because like it was a lot of sideways passing. I know I mean they still play with a lot of like a rigid system, but I mean De Bruyne was just too creative. Like out of anywhere he can, even against what like Arsenal as well. Like he only got the I mean assist and like in general
One
also
goal.
like Haaland would feed off him to be fair, and that will be a
Hmm.
big loss for them. But
Fair enough.
they have enough depth. Come on, like they should be able to still keep up, unless they sign one more midfielder. What they're going after Paqueta and all.
Yeah.
City are just can't compete.
Interesting. Adi, Crystal Palace Arsenal away game for Arsenal. Arsenal win this.
Yeah, I mean, what else? I guess yeah, they'll win. Like, what do you want me to say? Yeah,
What else, bro? Like they're gonna do it, man. It's not gonna be that straightforward. I mean, it's still an away game. I mean, I don't know. Might be that straightforward for you, but
Monday
lost
night,
Timber.
Selhurst Park.
Will Zinchenko? Do
Monday
you think
night.
Zinchenko is gonna play this game?
I don't know. I don't think it's fair enough preseason, but again, it depends on how the fitness is works for him. He hasn't played since March, I guess, and
Yeah.
he just came into training. He
So who
played today
plays at left
60
back?
minutes today, but I don't know if he's going to play again on Monday for sure.
Who plays at left back for you?
I mean, to be fair, with the with the players we have right now, you can still go with the three at the back system. Or just do
Hmm.
whatever they did last week and replace Timber with Gabriel and continue the same formation. I don't think there needs to be anything changed. I don't think anything will be changed.
Okay.
And only thing maybe is Nketiah's dropped or maybe not. Depends again because last week when I saw him play, he was not involved in anything. He really didn't play the entire game. He was really non-existent apart from the goal. He
Yeah,
didn't really link up with anyone in the team. I don't think he has any chemistry with anyone. He's the only one who looked like there was no connection with because left hand side you could see Martinelli, Rice, Kai Havertz interchanging on the right hand. You could see Ben White,
Yeah.
Saka, Partey, and Odegaard
Yeah.
interchanging,
You
and
always had
he was just left
Odegaard. Yeah.
alone. And the whole point is Arsenal and Arteta wants a free flowing, fluid attack. And you could see everyone interchanging, but he was just looked lost. And
Yeah.
I feel like Trossard in that position can just do better stuff and can play better. If I was a manager, I would get in Trossard for the week, this week game. But like, let's see what happens.
Rishi, do you think Chelsea will get their first win? West Ham away for them this weekend.
Yeah, I think Chelsea will beat West Ham. West Ham were really underwhelming against, you know, like, to be in all due fairness, a team they should be not, even if they're not comfortably beating, they should be at least playing good football against them. Although they did get away at least like some 14, 15 shots or something. They again played on the back foot. You can say it's the Moyes style, but it's not. How sustainable is it against a superior side is still yet to be seen. And so yeah, I think Chelsea will. I don't think it'll be a tough work for them. But then again, they lost Reece James, and
yeah,
Gusto didn't seem all that impressive when he came on also. So
Yeah.
yeah, but I think Chelsea should be able to get a result.
Fair enough. And the other team to get register a win, Liverpool or no, they play Bournemouth. They play at home. They'll.
yeah.
Do you see them winning this?
I think they will steamroll them. This is that game which will like they'll play well. I mean, they'll win well. I don't know how they'll play, and then fans
Hmm.
will get back on their side, and then like this is that game. I feel like because I think back at Anfield they should register a few goals, and like I think even without that ball winner, probably they can get away with it against teams like Bournemouth. I
What
mean,
happened? What do you think? What do you think about the whole Salah coming off and
oh,
the chucking
yeah.
tape
I mean, there
and
was again like what Klopp said that we just need fresh legs. It's not about the player, and
yeah,
like
yeah.
I still think Salah can always provide something. I know he didn't have a good second half and he missed a few chances, but he's that player who, when you need a goal, you probably should have him around the box.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think they'll get past that. I don't think Salah's going to hold like anything against it, and I think he's going to score at least one this weekend.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, that's about it, guys. We ran through some of the fixtures for the coming week. We also spoke about everything that happened last week. We'll be back next week to do the same thing. Well, thanks, guys, and see you next week.